Their armies faced each other on the battlefield 2 times in 17th century, 4 times in 18th century, and again 4 times in 19th century. 10 wars and 10 peaces. They are Russia and Turkey, the enemy brothers. Ottoman sultans, Turkish sultans used to get married with Russian brides in the time of the empire. And now, again, many Turks are getting married with, many Turkish men are getting married with Russian women today. So nothing changed. And with TurkStream natural gas pipeline project and Akkuyu Nuclear Power Plants, the two states get married. Let's take a look at the nature of the relations of Russia and Turkey in this episode. In official Turkish historiography, Russia is an enemy that descends upon Turkey with the desires to possess the favorable shores of the Mediterranean Sea. This made Russia a big menace for Turkey and became a trauma both for the state and the society. The Ottoman Turkey and Tsardom Russia had 12 big wars since 15th century. They needed each other, but they also feared and attacked each other. October Revolution in Russia became a breaking point for the mutual relations. Seeking allies against Europe, Vladimir Lenin supported Mustafa Kemal's insurrection against the imperialist front and occupying powers. USSR became the first European state to recognize Ankara government. Kemal and Stalin initialized a non-aggression pact in 1925, 2 years after the declaration of the Republican regime in Turkey. However, the same Stalin withdrew from the pact in 1945. Moscow put in a claim for Kars, Artvin and Ardahan districts and demanded bases in Bosphorus and Gallipoli Straits. The result was Turkey's accession to NATO. To do so, İsmet İnönü, the one-man president of the country, accepted to transform Turkey's authoritarian regime to a multi-party system, and he lost the elections in 1950. Turkey's new government was highly pro-American, and what happened in Turkey during the Cold War years was highly specific. According to the Green Belt theory, US was aiming to consolidate Islam-oriented lifestyle and politics among Muslim-majority countries surrounding the Soviet Union, assuming that green, the color of Islam, will be an antidote for red, color of communism. Following a highly anti-communist policy as a NATO member, Turkey suffered from this so-called theory in terms of its secular social order. After the collapse of the Eastern Bloc, Russia and Turkey became two friends that missed each other. Mutual economic relations started to increase in a very short time. Boris Yeltsin and governments in Turkey during the 90s were not contravening in terms of national and international interests. But when Putin gained the power in Russia in year 2000 and Erdogan in Turkey 2 years later than that, things started to change. Personal relations of the leaders play a deep role in authoritarian regimes, and this applies for Turkey and Russia too. The two leaders address each other by saying "my friend Putin" or "my friend Erdogan" in an appealing tone, and "Mr. Putin" or "Mr. Erdogan" in a mad tone from time to time, like naughty children. They sometimes get crossed, and they make their peace right after. Literally, just right after. The two leaders had deep disagreements about the war in Syria. As Erdogan refused to back his old friend Bashar al-Assad, he also found himself confronting Russia's leader. Turkey's undertone protection on ISIS was the main reason that the two countries stressfully faced each other. Most striking incident was the shutdown of a Russian Sukhoi Su-24 fighter jet by two Turkish F-16s on November 2015. There was a frontier infringement according to Turkey and NATO. However, Russia's statement was that their jet had no risk on Turkey and the allies because it was fighting against ISIS, if Turkey perceives this organization as an enemy. Above all, what Turkey's Air Force did was the first ever shutdown of a Russian jet by a NATO member army since 1950s. Putin said there will be consequences for Turkey, and Russia is waiting for an official apology. Moscow initialized hard restrictions of Turkish goods and Turkish professionals employed by Russian companies. All tours by Russian travel agencies cancelled. And to mention, 4.5 million Russian tourists visited Turkey in 2014, the previous year of the shutdown. Then, 7 months later, on June 2016, President Erdogan sent a letter to Putin and apologized for the shutdown of Russian fighter jets. And the relations normalized very quickly, like nothing happens. And they are keeping it up. For the West, relation of Turkey and Russia is a delicate issue. Being a notable trade partner for Europe, Turkey's biggest import market is Russia, and Ankara has a critical external dependency on energy items. If Turkey breaks its ties with Russia somehow, its trade partnership with Europe will also become gravely wounded. David Satterfield, former US ambassador to Ankara, underlines the fact that good relations between Turkey and Russia are welcomed if such a relationship deals with stability issues.
Turkey has a vital relationship with Russia. It's a relationship that has generated both good and bad for Turkey in the past. We welcome the dialogue that President Erdogan has with President Putin when the subject is stabilization, when the subject is the ability to access grain and other products through the Black Sea from Ukraine. That has been extremely useful and extremely important. And we do not see this as a pivot or an alignment of some kind with Russia. We see it as the conduct of necessary relations with a very important, for good or ill, neighbor of Turkey.
The same thing Ambassador Satterfield said can be applied to Russia too. As soon as Turkey limits its relations with the West in terms of trade and stability, Ankara's alliance with NATO and EU can be easily welcomed. However, things seem to be changing. Because TurkStream natural gas pipeline is like a naval cord between Russia and Turkey. The pipeline directly connects the largest gas reserves in Russia to the Turkish gas transportation network, and it creates a source of energy for Turkey, South and Southeast Europe. The total capacity of the pipeline is 31.5 billion cubic meters per year. So, giving up this source seems not that easy. Plus, the two countries are running a joint nuclear power plant project in southern region of Turkey, which will be the first ever nuclear energy production facility of Turkey. The technology control of Turkey's nuclear plant will be in Vladimir Putin's compassionate hands. Turkey and Russia's mutual relations played a significant role in general standing of both countries in a diplomatic level throughout the history, especially for Turkey. It had never been easy for Turkey to take the plunge in any issue without considering what Russia's reaction will be. In the first half of 21st century, it seems less things changed.